everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome back. I have a few things that I want to do today. Here's our cover. It's all nice and, I don't know, I like the Mod Podge. I know people say Mod Podge. It's Mod Podge. It is hard to say fast because it kind of gives me like a leathery texture here on the cover. I don't know. It just, I like the feel of it. So there's our cover. This was a misprint, so I just glued the pages together. I don't know what I'll use it for, but I have it. Here's our scraps from when we were doing our cover. Get this organized behind me. And here are, well, I'll just show you the papers. So I finished printing on both sides. I did the backgrounds. They're not all the same. I like this leaf page. And I think I showed you these. So these have all been printed on the back with just the random papers that were in the collection from the horizontal pages. She includes horizontal and vertical. And yeah, so I've just kind of randomly printed on the back of those. So those are all ready to go. I don't think I'm going to use all of them in the journal because there's with the mistake there were 20, so now I have 19. I'll probably keep these to use in envelopes and such. The actual journal pages I may use, I think I'll use 10, and then I'll add some just coffee dyed paper. There's a lot of embellishments in here. So there's envelope, and I did print on the back of all these because I didn't want to have to mess with, do I need to print this or that or whatever. I did all of this on cardstock, so several envelopes. And then there's the ephemera, and I might have shown, I don't remember if this was, if I had any of this printed out before, but lots of fun stuff in here. I'm excited to use it. And tags, and then a ton of fussy cuts. I know I won't use all these, but what I love about these is that I'll be able to use these forever in other things. So because they're florals, and we've got the cute pumpkins. I love this stack right here. Envelopes and books, and yeah. Oh, that was a, I don't know if yours does this, but every once in a while if I'm doing a print job, my printer will just stop. Just stop, and then I get an error on my laptop that says the printer is not available. And the only way to clear it is to cancel the print job, and then it starts the whole thing over. Even though I've canceled it, it'll start the whole print job over as soon as I release it. So it's like, oh, come on. So anyway, I got some extra fussy cuts there. This one's food. I don't use a lot of food. Not my favorite thing to put. If I was doing a recipe book, maybe, but butterflies are really pretty. I like the vintage vibe on these, and yeah, ton of fussy cut stuff. Now, the downside of this is that the outlines on these, and you may not even be able to see it, it's like a 1/16 of an inch around the image, and it's not dark enough for my scan and cut to pick up. So I can't use the scan and cut on this, which is kind of frustrating, but so I'll probably be using less of the fussy cuts than I normally would. But anyway, that's not all of it. That's just the part I haven't cut out yet. So in here I've cut, let's see, what was in here? Okay, so this was some side tucks and some more side tucks. Looks like there's, I probably didn't trim that, but we can ink it. Yeah, so two of these, and a horizontal belly band, vertical belly band, and some focal points for those. And then these are just pockets, which are fun because they look like little file cards. So that is the one or two, I think that was 3 pages. And then in here I have a few more things that I've cut out. I can only cut so much. I am not a master fussy cutter. So here we have, what do you call these? Hidden paper clips. There's 3. There's enough to make 3 of these, so I think that's the first thing I want to work on. And ton of these little tiny little pieces of ephemera, which I mean tiny. So I'm not sure how many of those I'll use, but we'll see how much we want to decorate. And this is a tag and a pocket and a journal card. And I believe this goes here and this goes here. So this is a little purpley. So I am going to use some ink on the whole thing because there were a few that were printing when I started to run out of ink, and I don't want to have to reprint the whole page for one tag. So I think that'll be fine, and we'll just grunge this up a little bit more so that it's kind of grungy as well. I probably should get my hole punch. Alright, and then this is, you could leave this for writing inside and just make it a little booklet. Let me get my hole punch. Okay, get that. All right. And yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and, oh, there is a tab. All right. So let's score this. And I probably could just fold it. But why not? Okay. It folds easier when you score it. And I'm going to use my micro scissors to maybe cut that out. We'll ink it in a minute. So this was on the same page as this pocket, but it didn't say to put it on the tag. I'm going to assume that's going to go on the tag, so that's where I'm going to put it. Ink both sides. Probably help if I had a little bit more ink. And then we'll go around the edges of this. Okay. And don't really need to do the front. Alright, I'm thinking you could make a secret pocket, but I think I'm just going to glue this. I'm going to glue it down. Get all the dry glue off the tip while I'm waiting for it to go down. Probably time to add some acetone to it. Again. Sometimes instead of adding the acetone, I will just add more glue, and that seems to help it out. Alright, I am going to use my brayer so this is nice and distributed. And then we're going to go ahead and round these corners as well. I also found that, well, number one, with the Fabri-Tac, you don't have nearly as much curling because the acetone dries out really quick. And then you're left with almost like a tacky rubber cement type thing. It's not rubber cement, but it's that kind of sticky tacky thing. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch on here. And anyway, it dries the flatter, but when you're using your glue stick or a wet glue or whatever, I found that the brayer helps. I mean, unless you put a ton of glue, the brayer will help with the distribution and help it dry out faster, I guess, and not curl up as much. Okay. Just look at that. Okay. So we're going to glue this pocket. I should have left this down. We're going to glue this pocket on the back side. And you know I'm going to round these two to match, so. Okay. I just opted to round the corners with my corner rounder instead of trimming out the corners. I'm sure that the corners were not that pronounced, but alright, I'm just going to center this on 3 sides. Well, I'm going to center it on the sides and come up about the same amount on the bottom. Alright, so now we're going to take this and put this on our tag. And let's see, one side was shorter, I'll use the here we go. Just kind of even it up. Okay, there we have that. And there's a nice little journal card for us. You could add some lace. Let's do that. Let's add some, I had some pieces here. Let's just add some right across the bottom. In which case it didn't really matter if I centered it or not, but or kept the spacing the same. So happy Friday. Always look forward to Friday, even though I don't work away from home anymore. I don't know, there's just something about Friday. It's pizza night here. Although I have been informed that we're not having pizza tonight. Okay, I like that because you know, a little bit's peeking out the bottom. It just kind of dresses that up. You have your florals here, and then you have that on this side. So, I like it. Okay, so one piece of ephemera down. And here is the next one. We'll see how much we can get done in this time. Reuse these envelopes. Alright, so this one, let me remember what I got. This one comes like this, okay, and we have our tab here, so let's score this. Sorry about that noise. Okay, I've already scored and folded these pieces, but Sometimes it's easier to find these when they're not teeny tiny. So I'm just gonna trim that extra little piece out, and then we will ink this one. This is also going to go on our top of our tag, which is actually not a tag, it's a journal card. Alright, you can see the little white, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just slightly rounded as in aged, you know? So I'm just barely trimming these off. I don't have time to trim all that. Okay, and we will ink this piece. And you know, I probably could have just left it and just inked those little pieces on the corner. So if you don't have a punch, or you don't want to punch it and you don't want to trim it with your scissors, that's okay. Alright, so let's glue this piece on. I love the little bumblebee there. Alright, there's a short side, a long side. I want the short side in the front. I don't know why. Okay. Okay. So, center that. I love that it has that little design. It has these little designs in the corner where I can kind of center it between those. And there we go. Okay, so this is going to be the card that goes inside of this. We have an oval here, and then this will show through the oval. So this is the part that I don't like, but we're just going to do it. I'm just going to, these are very sharp, so I'm just going to, well, where's my pokey tool? Maybe I'll use this. I think I'll cut to about 1/8 of an inch on that edge, and then I'll bring my scissors in and finish the job. There we go. Rather than try to poke a hole. And like I said, I am not the greatest at fussy cutting, so it does get easier as you get a bigger chunk of this away. And if there's a little white edge, we'll ink it, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to cut that off. And then all I have left is this. I, most of the time, will just cover these. I don't bother to cut them out because I really, it's like my least favorite activity because I never can get quite up to where I want to. Now I am going to lay just a piece of card under this, and I'm going to ink it from here, from the middle. I just find that's a little bit easier for me. Okay. And you can see I didn't round these yet, but you can't see those little white spaces because I've inked. Alright, so the way we're going to glue this one together is we folded this piece in. Where's my bone folder? Go. I folded them, but I didn't bone fold them. And then we are going to glue this closed. Wow, I'm not staying on today. I don't want glue inside. Probably just need to slow down and quit being in a hurry. Alright, then we're going to fold this, try to align it. I'm going to use my bone folder there. Now this is where, I think I'm done with the glue. This is where you can see the corners are not quite lined up with where I'd like to be. So this one's lined up. This one I didn't fold exactly where it should. So I'm just going to ink that, and then it won't be as noticeable. But I am going to come in here and round these corners again, the 1/4 inch, just to keep it, oops, that one I didn't get lined up straight, but just to keep it the same or similar to the other one, and not necessary at all. Okay. And writing space on the back side. Okay, so there we have our pocket, we have our journal card, and we will tuck that right inside there, and cute, right? I love it. Okay, piece 2. All right, the next thing we're going to do is work on these hidden paper clips. Now, I may, let's see, I may only have a few minutes left, so yeah, I have 6. I'm going to stop it now. Okay, and we will see if we can get this done in 29 minutes. That way I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so there's 3 pieces here that have the paper clip. Guess what? That's where the paper clip goes. Then we have the little ephemera pieces, but in here we have a bunch of other pieces, parts. So we've got words, we've got butterflies, we've got some little label type things there. We've got little images, vertical and horizontal. We've got pockets, vertical and horizontal, and these were some extras. This is the other piece that is going to go on the clip. So we don't need all this yet, so let's put this aside for now, and let's do the paper clips. So we are going to need to score some of this. So I am just going to, now these have rounded corners. I had not cut these out yet because I'm just going to use my corner rounder. So score there. This one is a dotted line, score there. So it's going to go like that. This is going to go up. You don't really need this piece if you've printed on the back, unless you want it to be the same, because this gets glued down and then this comes over. So I want to make sure that these are pretty straight, and then we will use our corner rounder on the 1/4 inch side again. There we go. And I need some paper clips. So I like these skinny little ones, but for some reason I keep ending up they're like plastic coated, and I don't like them. I like just the regular metal, but these I think are a little too big, so I don't want to use the big ones. So anyway, there's a longer side and a shorter side, and of course the longer piece will go. So I'm sticking this here for now, but I'll still need to glue this down. Okay, one is ready, and we'll do the same one on this one. Score and score, and then I want to make sure that I line this up so that everything is straight. I want the small piece on the front, but I want it to be tighter. There we go. Turn it over. Okay, I want it to stay tight. And we want to round these corners. Okay, and one more. The lines are much more visible on the lighter color here, but we will ink it anyway and it won't matter. I guess it doesn't really matter which side is which, but I like the longer one on the back. And this could also be used as a matchbook if you wanted to, I think. Okay, so there's number 3, and then we have these, which are going to go over the top, and we just want to score these on the dotted line. And then we are also going to round these corners. Let me get these little corner rounder pieces off. Fold that up, make sure it's straight. All right, and then round all these corners. And I guess I need these. Okay. All right. So I could actually use either side of this for this project. So, all right. So we've got our paper clip in here. Let's glue this piece down. What did I do with my glue bottle? Okay. Left it on its side for once. That's nice. I'm going to glue this piece down. Okay, and we'll ink this. Don't need to ink the inside, I don't think. I'm just inking that because this is going to be the part that shows. I do think I want to ink, you know, I didn't round this part. That's what I missed. Okay. Oh, somebody's at the front door. I'm going to have to pause for a sec. It cracks me up how when Walmart doesn't have something you ordered, they'll ship it via FedEx. So, got a box of protein bars and beef jerky. It cracks me up. I mean, it is one day, but they must have an awfully good deal with FedEx. I just went ahead. I'm kind of assembly lining these. Okay, so we only need to ink up to the edge of this, and then I do need to come down here and do this side, and then I can put this back on. No, I want, there we go. I want the short side on the front, but you know how if you put it on one way it's loose and if you put it on the other way it's tight? I don't know why I'm having a hard time with that. Okay, need to ink this end. Oh, looks like I already did. And up here, okay, that one looks good. I want the line side on the back. I need to put it on the back. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's ink this one. Okay, here we go. All right, and now this goes over the top. And then this gets the pocket and the extra things. So this will get glued down solid, and then you'll slide this on here like this. And it'll go almost flush. Not perfectly, but almost. So I guess I'll go ahead and ink around this whole piece. And then front and back, and then we will put this glue on, and that will glue that paper clip securely in between the layers so that it doesn't show and is hidden, thus the name hidden paper clip. I also am using the Fabri-Tac so I have time to kind of adjust it if I need to. Okay. Because of not centering properly. Oh boy. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm going to repeat, and I will just fast forward this part. Okay, so we've got some vertical pockets, which are going to go on the back, and we've got some horizontal pockets, which are going to go on the front. There we go. So it looks like I need to trim these up a little bit. That won't take but a second. And then punch a hole. let's see, I don't necessarily, well, I guess we could matchy-matchy, but I don't think I want to. I think I'll use this one here, and this one here. So, oh, a little circle there. I think it's just a little misprint. It happens. Okay. You'll notice even oh, I forgot to trim that one, so that could be the problem. But sometimes even when you trim them, they still show. So I just trim them a little extra so that when you fold those back, they don't show. And on this one, they're just peeking out right there. So I want to go back and take it down a little bit more. Yeah. So I think I wanted the floral one there, and like so. So I do want to probably should have just done this in one video and left the others for another, but that's okay. Bonus content, right? All right, I am going to put this on the outside, so I'm just going to tack that down right here. And what that does is it keeps, when you're putting things in and out of the pocket, it keeps them from bumping into that. So they'll go all the way down to the bottom of that and don't have to worry about this piece. So you always want that bottom flap on the top. And now glue the whole piece down. Let's see if I can get it somewhat. There we go. Okay, we'll do this one. Don't need a lot of glue to tack this down. You just need enough to keep it until you glue the rest in place. Stay. So the other day we watched, I asked my husband if he wanted to watch Wicked with me. And he was like, yeah, okay. So we watched that. It was just as good the second time. I've never really been a huge fan of Ariana Grande, but she was so good in this movie. I laughed all the way through. So she was, I don't know. It made me laugh almost as much as the Barbie movie, to be honest. I thought it was pretty funny. And I think he liked it. So we've been waiting and waiting because there's nothing good to watch. So I remember when the season premieres used to be at the end of August or at the beginning of September with the school year. Because I remember associating back to school with the premieres or whatever. And now that's like middle of October. And then they'll show, okay, this I might peek out, probably not. I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, so they'll show like 10 episodes and be the mid-season finale. What? I feel like I'm getting gypped. You know, you go back and watch the old TV shows, and they were doing like 37 episodes a year. We're lucky if we get 16 on some, and then maybe, 21, 22 if it's on CBS. All right. So, excuse me. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on the back with the vertical pockets. So I'm going to do that real quick and then I'll be back. Alrighty then, so I have the front pocket and the back pocket, and I put this one on the wrong way. You may have noticed that. This was supposed to be a horizontal pocket. This was supposed to be vertical, or vice versa. Either way, I didn't do it correctly. So, they're the same size. They had tabs on them, but I messed it up. Yep, I did. So I am going to put the vertical ones here on the back side. Put these in like that. And then there are these, I don't want to put that in there. I think I might put this one here and here, and there's, yeah, put that one there, and we'll flip these over. And yeah, I messed this one up, so these should have been this way around. You can't really see them, so I'm not going to worry too much about them being in sideways, because you will see them when you take them out, but because mostly you're going to see this and this and this. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure, but I think that one would look good there. And I think I still want to put that one there. And I don't know, do I want that there? Yes, I think I'm going to put this here, just like that. And I'm going to name her Joy. All right, so let's just put a little bit of, I'm not going to ink the ones in the pocket because I can pull those out and ink them after. And I will leave the video below. You know what? I don't know if I saved it. If I can, I will leave the video to the tutorial for this. It's a different kit that she does the tutorial with, but really cute. And I don't know, I just think these are adorable. So I could decorate the other side, and I think I will do that later. I'm just going to lay that right there. And then I do need to ink this. The back side will also be able to be seen, so that's prime real estate too. But I don't want to use these teeny tiny little ones. These are way too small for me. So because I have all those other fussy cuts, I think I'll wait until the very end and see what I have, and come back to this project, because I really, really like it the way it is so far. And this one as well. I may not wait till the end. If I have a fussy cut sheet with some small enough fussy cuts, I may just put it on there anyway. There's more real estate on the other side, but I really think this is fun. Did I already ink these? I don't know. I just came back from lunch with my son. I take turns, and with all my kids, and every 2 weeks on Friday I'll take one of them out to lunch, so we rotate. So today was my youngest's turn, and we went to a place called the Hub, and it's so good, but so much food, so I have dinner left in there. So I had a garlic basil turkey sandwich. It comes with tomatoes and onions and pepper jack cheese, so good, and tater tots, which I love. So, but I just could not eat it all, just too much food. Okay, put that there. It says sunflower even though it's a butterfly. I should have switched these. Oh well. And there we go. So cute, right? Oh, where's that page I had left over? So this is what it's going to look like on the journal page. It'll come just like that, and then we'll have this side. So I definitely want to put something here. Now, what they did was they put a big cluster of a bunch of different things around. And of course, I don't remember if this was vertical. I think this one was horizontal. I think that's the one I messed up. But oh well, it looks fine. And you know, you could also make them so they go this way. Totally up to you, but these are fun because they just slide on and off the page. You can put them wherever you want in your journal. But yeah, we definitely have to come back and do the backs. So anyway, those are fun. I like them. So we've got the paper clips. We've got a journal card, a little bit of lace on the bottom. We didn't put any lace on these, but then we have this slider pocket with the little card inside and writing space. So yeah, we got a lot done today. So we will be back Monday. I think I don't know if I'm going to do a Make Ahead Monday this Monday. First of all, it's a holiday and it's the beginning of a new month, so I may just continue working on this journal because I'm really excited and I want to work on it. And you know, any of these things could be make aheads because you can make these with products that you already have. So you know, take what you like and put it together, and you know the drill. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye now. Thanks for watching.